Hi, and welcome to this episode of Lead with Love, how to raise confident kids. Today we have with us a very special guest. It's Tina B from Slovenia, and she's Pediatrician of the Year, a very, very amazing award. And Tina helps moms deal with children in a very unique way. So Tina, tell the audience a bit about your work and what it is you do that makes you so successful and your superpowers, because I so look up to them.
Hi, so thank you for having me and inviting me to your summit. It's such an honor being here with you. And first of all, hi to everyone who is watching and following the series, which I think is really, really amazing. And what I do is I basically help moms to really find their inner passion or purpose and connection basically through themselves and through parenting, because I think that the only way you can connect to your children is actually to connecting to yourself first. And I really view parenting as one of the best opportunities we get for personal transformation and development in life. So this is actually what I do besides being a pediatrician and a mom.
Yeah, which is can be a full-time job, or it is a full-time job. But I'm just really amazed at what it is that you do with women that come to you. So they both come to you when they're pregnant and also when they become mothers with all these questions that we all have, right? So you give them some kind of security and you have a plan and you can just talk the way through this that happens, when we start learning this, raising kids. And so tell us a bit about your approach or what it is that people get from working with you.
So what I do, what I always do, and what I'm always telling is, I'm always advising don't read any books at all when you're.
Oh, okay.
So this is one of the keys to my approach, and there is a reason why. Because what I see a lot of times is that all the parenting theories and books are actually trying to generalize children or pregnant women or every pregnancy or birth or postpartum period. But in fact, we're all different. Like, no two children are the same, no two adults are the same, not even if we not even twins are the same. They can look alike, but they do have certain things that are not completely the same. So we all have our own personality, our own purpose, destiny, whatever. So what I see is that a lot of times pregnant women or moms are trying to look for answers outside of them, like especially after you give birth and the pregnancy hormones really start to drop. What happens is that all this excitement that was there when you were pregnant and all this happiness hormones, they just decline. And what happens is that you start feeling really insecure. You don't know if you're doing the right thing or what to do, or if you are a good mom or not. And there's a lot of information out there online, like you're a bad mom if you're not breastfeeding, and if you're not.
Yeah, that one. I remember that one.
Baby's not going to grow or develop properly, or their brain won't develop properly. And this is so not true. So I'm really encouraging them to really find and trust their intuition, because at the end of the pregnancy, the intuition really peaks. And it stays that way. Like, how it is, Samantha. You just know that something is going on with your kids. It just. And this is actually, and especially if you're tuning into that after the pregnancy, this feeling, it's like almost like an extra sense we have. It just goes stronger. And then you kind of, you teach yourself to use it and to trust it.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm trying to show them, that they already are the best possible mothers for their babies or children, and that they have all the knowledge they need, but they just need to trust themselves. So what I'm teaching them is really to turn inward for all the answers. And a lot of times what I see, it's our children are the biggest teachers, and what they teach us is actually those things that we should have already learned through our lives but didn't, or the things that we are pretending not to see or not to be there when it comes to our personality and personal life. And when you have problems with your children, it's because they're just a reflection of who you are or what's going on inside of you. You
Oh,
probably have something to work on yourself, so to grow personally. So it's
okay.
this wonderful kind of dance of this connection that we have with our children. And this is really what I'm teaching them, to really turn inward, not to listen to anyone, say no, learn how to say no. This is the first thing our babies are teaching
Does
us.
that include our own mother?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that too, I found that too, actually, to be true. So this is interesting. What you're saying is how to raise confident kids starts with you tapping into your own confidence. And what stands in the way of you connecting to and listening to your child is listening to everybody else. So if you listen to yourself, then you'll be able to listen also to your child, and your child is actually telling you what to do and what you need to work on. So it's that clear channel of communication to and from your child that starts within your to and from yourself.
Exactly.
Good
Yeah.
point.
Because if you are not in tune with who you are, and if you're not being authentic, then it's impossible. Children are nothing but authentic, and they're nothing but, they just are. I'm like
Mhm.
that, just plain book. I'm this is who I am. And then we, as they grow, we kind of influence them, and are kind of modeling them into, a lot of times, into what we want them to be, because we were raised that way. You know how many times parents would tell us, for you, it would be the best if you would be, let's say, a singer because you sing so well. But in fact, yeah, I'm a good singer, but I don't have any ideas myself of becoming that. But then a lot of times we influence them. And what I see is that this influence is coming from the place of their own kind of lack or scarcity inside of them, because they're operating
Mhm.
from that kind of space. If, for example, your mom didn't give you enough attachment and feeling of security, what you're gonna do everything to give that to your child. But here, if we are not observing and listening to our children, a lot of times we have, even babies, they communicate not verbally, but they communicate everything, like this energetic connection connected with intuition and this feeling we as mothers have. They connect, they connect, and they tell us, they really tell us everything, if you're just there, prepared, and be open enough to observe and to communicate with them. So I basically see, even in the first months, in the first months of life, what I say is, we have really two types of personalities in babies: those that really need a lot of attachment, and those who are just free spirits. And of course they need attachment, and they will tell you when they need some touch, and that they need really, to be close to you. But then again, they need to have a certain period of time where they need to be left alone. And a lot of times what moms think, because of all the information, that they need to really animate them, they need to be there to really stimulate their brain so that the brain will develop. But they will do with that kind of a baby, they will cause this tremendous baby colic, because their brain is going to go into the complete overload. So it's being authentic, because if you won't be authentic, it's impossible that for you to allow your baby or your child to be authentic in who they are. So every time you do something against yourself, like listening to your mother, and you absolutely don't resonate with this information, but because she, you know,
Is your mother.
she raised you and raised, I don't know, your sister, you have this inner feeling, she was doing something right. um,
We just need that one person to go to listen to, right? And it can become her. But I agree, it's
it's a
important to listen to yourself.
yeah, it's a natural connection we do have, like with our mothers. But unless I'm gonna be really honest right now, unless your mother really raised two totally happy, fulfilled, and successful, authentic,
And even then, you still should learn to listen to yourself and
exactly.
filter.
But yeah, otherwise it's just when you have this feeling inside that you actually wouldn't do things that way, but
Mm-hmm.
doing them anyway because your mom or someone else, I don't know, who is really significant in your life, told you to do that, you're
Or a
going against.
book.
Yeah. And every time you're doing something against yourself, you're doing it against your child. And I
Yeah.
mean, even in the early weeks or months, this is visible, and problems arise. Um, a lot of time, trauma that happens in the first years of life is actually the trauma that is seen in adult life. So this is how important those early years are.
Mm-hmm. And let's say our kids are a little more grown up. I don't know if the woman watching with us today, what I hear you say, Tina, is just to tap in and listen and recognize if you're leading yourself with trust or with fear, right?
Mhm.
So I find that's the big differentiator. So let's say this is really, really valuable and important. If you are pregnant or if you've just given birth, this is great information. Well, let's say we're a little further along and they might be teenagers or they might be, 4 or 5 or 6 or 7.
Yeah.
What can we do? How do we know what what to do to not let our own, you know, fears get in the way? Because we want the best for our children.
Mhm.
Well, how do we know that we're not showing up as that mother who is projecting and not letting the child listen to itself? What
Yeah.
can we do to manage that?
So it's always good to get to know your child, basically, and always um whenever whatever feeling shows up for you, whether this is anger or you're triggered or fear, really go like sit with yourself and see, like, this is what I'm saying, it's all about personal development. So just sit with yourself and see where this feeling is actually coming from and why this has showed up for you. Like, of course, if your child was almost hit by a car, of course you are afraid and you are acting,
Yeah,
but
but that's different because that's instinct.
exactly. But just sit with yourself and see where this is coming from, and just be your own coach. Like, just be your own coach. Don't go into this box and telling yourself, I just want the best for my child. Of course I want that too, but don't let the fear enrolling you in the story. Just sit there like almost if you were like a third person, just in a way unattached, and see what's going on inside of you. And then what I would recommend is trust your child. I
Yeah,
mean,
don't take over, kind of.
take over, because a lot of times I'm sorry, a lot of times children are putting themselves into danger, or they're climbing even higher and higher and higher on a tree and calling you, is because they don't get your kind of confirmation how, in a way, how good they are, not how good they are, but about their efforts, or what they are capable of already.
That's good.
A client whose child was really putting himself, I mean, if you would just look it from this perspective, into dangerous situations all the time. And then I said, but when was the last time you told him, like, oh my God, you're capable of doing that already? I mean, I'm amazed what you can do. The moment she did that, so she, she dropped her fear, and she was just amazed about this child. Just go over your fear and just be amazed. Wow, what they are capable of, and they're not afraid. Like, they're really showing us that, your life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So it's constant interaction and learning, and get to know them,
So
like,
that child stopped doing dangerous stuff as soon as she said that.
immediately.
Amazing. Very good point.
So and get to know them, really, because I see also when talking to adults and other friends of mine, a lot of times adults have the feeling that they're parents don't even know who they are, like really, really know who you are. So just pretend like I know it's really difficult because you're emotionally involved and attached to a child, but just pretend that you don't know this child, like this was a perfect stranger, and just see, you know, what kind of characteristics their personality has and what they are doing, what they're interested at, and just practicing that, let's say for a week, and journaling about it, you would be amazed like how different, from a different perspective, you start to see your children. So
Wow.
they really start learning about them, who they are, and getting to know them. Because
Wow.
a lot of times when children are going even into tantrums or meltdowns, is because, you know, they really have the right to be angry. I mean, I get
There's an
angry.
information there.
Exactly. It's just sometimes we just go so much against themselves. I mean, if you have, let's say, a 1 year old, or I don't know, yes, a 1 year old, and you would, you know, give him or her this pen to play with, and then of course they would, you know, put it apart, and now you see the danger here, and now you're suddenly taking this away. Of course they're angry. I mean, you gave them this fantastic toy they never saw in their life before, and now you're just abruptly taking this away, this pure reason of fun, for having fun. Of course they're angry. So we shouldn't be really afraid of their reactions and their anger, you know, but rather understand why those things are happening and these reactions are happening.
That is an amazing point. And literally, I've never ever thought about that. Like, get to know your kids. It's so simple. And how to raise confident children. Get to know your child. Be interested. And
Yeah.
I have to share this one experience. I'm going to share it with you at another time. But I remember when my kid was about, maybe he was six or seven, and we were running towards the bus to catch the bus. And I would blame them, like indirectly, for not catching the bus, and he would throw a tantrum. And I realized, oh my God, you're right. I am blaming you. Like, walk a little faster. And before, when he would just go, wah, like really dramatic, but I wouldn't know what it was about. But right then and there, I knew, you're telling me not to blame you, obviously, for us perhaps missing the bus, which is something that doesn't matter. But when
Yeah.
we're in that, you know, day-to-day routine, we have all this guilt and this stuff, and we need to do all these, because we kind of look at the practical stuff as our success factors. I know I did that, for overcompensation for feeling like a failure. At least I had to get the right meals done and get them to eat, and all these practical things that don't really matter because they don't create the connection. It's more about our own
Yeah.
bad self-worth, I think, or
Yeah.
guilt or something.
Exactly.
So I never thought about it that way, Tina. That's so simply and so valuable put.
Yeah.
Get to know your child.
Mhm.
So
It is.
that's a different approach to how to raise confident children. I thought it was going to be different.
No, I mean, every time you, in a way, allow them to be who they are,
Hmm.
that they can authentically creative, which children are, you
And
know.
they're not you.
And
Because I also find myself meddling, telling them like, telling them how
exactly.
to do stuff after you let them, just go out of the kitchen. You know, don't go in there. Like, stay away if you have to. I know I have to in order to not meddle.
Yeah, exactly. It's just allow them to be who they are. Don't tell them how to do things, because here you're killing all their creativity.
Yeah, yeah.
Once you're killing their creativity, this feeling of insecurity arises. And when this is done on consistent basis, what this little brain learns is, I'm incapable. You know, I'm. It's impossible for me to do things right. So this insecurity rises, and, you know, self-confidence as well. It's impossible for it to be, you know, to grow, and to that they don't feel secure. And also, if you take it from the perspective of adults, when do you feel secure and confident is when you are really doing things that are really authentically you. I
Hmm.
mean, we are taught that sometimes that and we were raised that way, that, you know, that we I mean, some of us were raised like, being in tune and in connection with who we are, but a lot of times that I know I wasn't, kind of supported by my parents to really be in touch with who I was 100%. But when you really allow yourself to be who you are and be authentic, you feel like you're at home. You feel secure. You feel like you're confident. You become confident. So this connection is really so important, and not telling them what to do, but instead, even if they tell you, I don't know how to do that, mom, just be there for support and say,
You could figure it out.
yeah, I'm saying to my daughter, okay, just, I know you are capable of doing this. Just show me how you picture that in your mind, and just, start doing, I don't know, a castle out of Legos, and I'm going to be here to support you if something, wouldn't go the way you imagine it. And then at the end, she is doing everything by herself. And and then I praise also her efforts, because not just the end product, but how much focus she has put into that. Because this is also important, that the path is also important, not just the end result, the goal.
Super interesting. I had a huge aha moment here. Like when we're telling our child what to do or how to do stuff, and we think we're helping them, because that's our come from, we're actually, 9 out of 10 times we're telling, or they're telling their brain that they're not capable. And we think we're doing something good and providing and helping them. Wow, that's so interesting. Wow. I feel a little ashamed about moving my son's sticker on a board that we were making. I thought it had to be all, linear, but he put it like that. And I have to go tell him sorry about that. So there are so many, instances where we don't do this. So, but it's really, really great to have that acknowledgement. And I love your focus. So don't tell your kids what to do. Get to know them, and you give them space, and get to know yourself.
Exactly.
And do not take advice from all these places, but find it inside of yourself. Wow.
Exactly.
Amazing. Yeah. And listen to your children is also what I hear. They will tell you what you need to focus on and learn.
Everything.
Wow. Amazing. I have all these images going around in my head of instances. Wow. You really turned the table on this one, Tina. I wasn't expecting this.
And just one more thing, don't be too hard on yourself. What you were just doing here, like, this mommy guilt, oh, I shouldn't do
But it's acknowledgement, so it's good. So if the listener out there, like me, think of instances where you were telling your kid what to do, or you corrected something. And by the way, I played soccer, so that's why I hurt my hand yesterday. But I caught the ball, so it didn't go in the goal, but it hurt.
But that's what counts. It doesn't matter, your hand will heal.
Yeah, I don't know how practical it is. I'm really stubborn about that, and I don't. But anyways, to the woman watching, if you, like me, have these instances and seeing of where you did something that wasn't, serving your kid, it's acknowledgement. So, a lot of people don't even see this. So don't ever be hard on yourself. Just be really happy that you even acknowledge it, because 90% we do all this stuff and we don't even see it. So don't feel bad. Like Tina said, it's really great to just see that there's room for improvement.
Yeah, this is this personal development and transformation I'm talking about. It happens even to me. Like, I'm just like you. So it happens on a daily basis for me, for me too. So, but just be open to acknowledge it, as you said beautifully, and to just move forward and allow yourself to change for the better.
Yeah, and it is a natural instinct to tell your child what to do and to help and support. But sometimes it's good to do the opposite of what our instinct is, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Tina. This is really, really inspiring. But let the audience, let the woman know how she can work with you. You have a free gift for them, so they can start trying out your stuff, because it's truly amazing.
Exactly. So I told you some of the things that I'm thinking about how to raise confident children, but there is an extension in a video where I put like all the things together. So I'm preparing. So I prepared this training, this short video, which is not too long, and where you have everything put beautifully and clear there too, and you can start putting that in practice immediately.
Amazing. So there will be a link to that, and we will discuss it in the Facebook group. And if you need any further help, reach out to Tina and to me, and we're all here to help you. So just let us know. And if you have any things that come up, any acknowledgments you want to share or something, we're here to help you. And just be honest. We're all in the same situation. Don't be shy to reach out and share, and book a call with us if you really need to talk. We're here for you.
Exactly.
Tina, thank you so, so much. And to the women out there watching, thanks for tuning in. There'll be another episode tomorrow, so don't forget to tune in, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.